Hey guys, Roxas here, and today we're gonna see if I can beat Evocreo with Deor Only. But before that, I gotta quickly show you guys the rules. You can pause the video to quickly read through the rules. Now I got enough time, let's begin. So the game starts and I choose the female character because I never chose her before. And I couldn't think of a name, so I called her Blank because that was pretty much what came up in my head. But anyway, after talking with my brother, I went to the farm to get Deor, who's gonna be jacked by the end of this. Now, after getting him and talking with some people, I went to my mom to say goodbye for now. But before I go through 50 Acres Woods, I first have to get Deor to level 15, and to do that, I have to go south of Lanosoft because there I'll find a tome that I need, and also trainers with high level Creos. Now before I fight them, I first have to get Deor to level 6 because he learns Kindle, which is a fire type move that's super effective against Arabian, which is the strongest Creo that this one trainer has if I want to go further in against other trainers. So pretty much get him to level 6, it's not that hard. You can fight Wild Creos, or you can pretty much fight an Essence Stone to your left, which makes it even easier. Now after doing all of that, I went down and took a right to pretty much get the Tome of Earth, which when I teach it to Deor, he learns Stalagmite, which right now in the game is one of the strongest moves you have. Also, it has a small chance to make my opponent's Creo bleed, which is a plus. So with that move in hand, I went around and beat every trainer around and some wild Creos too to reach level 15. Now that I'm level 15, I can go through 50 Acres Woods without any problem. Now when I reach the woods, I meet up with Maestro, who wants to challenge me to a battle, and we all know who won here. After beating him in a long monologue, I go through the woods beating anyone who's in my way, and meanwhile I was reaching the exit, my brother was there and he pretty much battled me, but thanks to Deor knowing Stalagmite, I pretty much took him down without any problems. Now after that, we reached the Plantea village, where I meet up with Maestro, who tells me I should go test my skills at the arena. So I went to the arena and beat up some people with their Creos to get some experience in leveling up and win the arena. After beating the arena, I went straight to the rat of Plantea village, who I defeated on the first try, and after beating him, I went straight to Logger Bridge to beat my biggest fan. Now this fight can be good or bad depending how you tackle it, but it was actually really easy for me thanks to Deor having Stalagmite because both of his Creos are weak to rock type move. But anyway, after beating him and going through the bridge, we arrive at Carbon City, where the next arena is. Now the arena was relatively easy. It was so easy in fact that I was confident enough that I can beat the rat of Carbon City on the first try, which did happen, but hey, at least I won't do that again. Maybe. Anyway. Now, after losing against him, I decided to go to Shadowhive's lab to get some experience to get one of the keys they need later, and after beating their commander and getting the key, I decided to go straight and fight the rat again, which was a close fight, but I managed to beat him and get the second Zenith key. After beating him and healing up, I meet up with Maestro, who wanted to battle me, and we all know who won here. After beating him, I continued my way to meet up with my biggest fan, who I took down without any problems, and after beating him, I pretty much went my way until I reached Electron Metro. After healing up, I went straight to the Electron Metro's arena, which was pretty easy. It wasn't as hard as I was hoping for. So with that, I pretty much went straight towards the Rad, who was actually pretty easy thanks to Deor being super jacked. But anyway, after beating the third Rad and getting the third piece of the Zenith key, my next destination is Hydro City, but to get there I have to go through Sun Tunnel. So I went through Sun Tunnel, beat up some trainers and some Shadowhive drones, and meet up with Dolda, a high-ranking Shadowhive member who I took down without barely breaking a sweat. After beating Dolda and getting out of Sun Tunnel, I met with Tias, who is a mysterious person from this mysterious land, who has been keeping her eye on me because I'm not an ordinary evoker. So she battles me with her Alacat, which was not gonna beat me at all. After beating her, I went to the tome shop that's near Hydro City to buy the Tome of Air, which when I teach it to Deor, he learns the move Miasma, which is a status move that poisons my opponents, which will be really helpful against taking down chunkier or thicker opponents. But anyway, after teaching Deor the move Miasma and having to knock out a Shatter because I ran out of links, I arrived at Hydro City, where the fourth arena is, so I healed up, got some potions, and went straight to the arena to lose because I didn't heal up, but it's okay, which is what I'd say if I didn't lose on the second try thanks to this Creo landing a one-hit KO move on me, which I didn't see coming, but hey, at least you guys know to be wary of that Creo. But anyway, after the first and the second fail to beat the arena on the third try, I managed to win, thank God, but After winning the arena, I pretty much went to Shadowhive's lab to get one of the keys that I need for later. And after finishing the lab, my next objective is to beat Hydro City's Rad, which I can't reach without Swim. But don't worry, I went to Hydro City's farm to get Sea Drake. Now, with Sea Drake, I can get to the Rad of Hydro City. Well, actually I can't, because Sea Drake learns Swim at level 15, which I did not know, so I evolved him into his water type evolution, who after 30 minutes of switch training and reaching level 33 without learning Swim, it pretty much made me a little concerned. So I googled the Creos that can actually learn Swim, which he is one of them, but I didn't let that stop me. So I went to Plantea Village to get Skalanka, who learns Swim, Glide, and Fly, 3 moves that I need to beat the game, which I should have got pretty earlier. But anyway, on my way back, I switch trains Skalanka until he reaches level 30 where he learns Swim, and after he learns Swim, I went towards Hydro City's Rad, who I took down without any problem. After beating the Rad, I go through Merge Town and Court Bridge to reach Monthly Baroque, where the next arena is, but before I go there, I first have to go to the city's tome shop to get the Fire Tome to teach Deor the Fire Tome move Flamethrower, which is a strong Fire Tome move that has a good chance to burn my opponents. After doing all of that, I went to the arena, which wasn't as tough as I was suspecting. So I went to Zenith Park to battle my brother to get Skaloon to level 40 so he can evolve and learn Fly. But after the battle, I accidentally stopped him from evolving, and because of that, he couldn't learn Fly anymore. A good thing I found an Illuvian who knew Fly. But you see, we reach a problem to get to the Rad of the Fire Arena, because I have to fly there, which sounds okay, but the problem is, when you fly, you can only use Creos that can fly to battle, meaning not Deor. So I looked up maps to find a route to get to the Rad without battling anyone, but all routes were filled with trainers, and even if they weren't filled with trainers, there's only one way to get to the Rad, and with a heavy sigh, I had to break the rules so that I can reach the Rad. And when I reached the Rad, I completely destroyed him and got the 5th Zenith key. Now let's hope we don't have to break the rules again. After beating him, my next destination is Atmos City, where the final Rad is, so I went straight there after beating my fan again and helping out Elfite Tower. Now, when I arrived at Atmos City, I went straight to the labs that they have there to get the final key that I'll need later, but not after beating Shadowhive's Queen and not getting one-hit KO'd by her Creos, because Vacuum has a low chance of one-hit KOing you, which happened to me in my Evocreo playthrough. And if you want to check that out, the link to the video is in the description. But anyway, after finishing up at the labs, I healed up and went straight to Atmos City's arena, which was a little annoying, but I still managed to beat it, and now that I beat it, I can challenge the final Rad. But the thing that sucks the most is getting to her, because the way there's 2 unavoidable chainers that are gonna basically block your path. But hey, at least I found a shiny Ravian in the way and I caught it. But anyway, after all of that, I arrived where the Rad is and wrecked her for being at an inconvenient spot and get the final Zenith key. Now, with the final Zenith key in hand, I can go to the Colosseum, but before that, I had to go to Shadowhive's base to get my dad. Now, when I arrived at Shadowhive's base and entered thanks to the keys that I got from their labs, I went through the goons that they have until I reached their main office where Dolda and the Queen are. Now, the battle against Dolda wasn't hard, but the Queen was no laughingstock. She kept spamming Vacuum like it was literally nothing else she had, and it freaking terrified me. But somehow I managed to barely win. After beating her, my dad shows up to tell me that he and the Queen were partners, but the Queen went her own path. But now that I stopped her, he'll take over, but he won't let me destroy his work. But before he can continue, my brother shows up to help him stop me from destroying their research. So we battled, and oh boy, it was tough because I just defeated the Queen with less than half health, and also I was poisoned, and on top of all of that, I had no healing items, just revives and a Boda Orb, but I had a plan. Now, the plan was I used Deor to poison my opponents, then switch out to another Creo, let them take a hit, and then bring Deor out, and even if Deor faints, I could just revive him with full health. And thanks to that, I managed to barely beat my brother. And now that he's down, my next opponent is my dad, who's rocking a full team of Prime Creos. But I wasn't gonna let that stop me. I battled him, took down his first Creo, but alas, I ran out of revives and Deor was taken down. Now, after that, I bought a crap ton of potions and revives and went back. Now, Dolda was easier the second time, but when I was battling the queen, she used vacuum, which one-hit KO'd my Deor. But I wasn't worried because I had a crap ton of revives, so I revived Deor and she one-hit KO'd him again, which annoyed me. So when I brought Deor again, I took her Creo immediately before it does it again. And after her, we have my brother again, who was easier. But after him was my dad again, and boy was his Creos annoying, especially CCing. But that wasn't enough to stop me. Thanks to my persistence and a lot of potions, I defeated my dad. Now, after beating him, he and my brother left, and I told my dad's friend what happened. And after all of that, I can finally go to the Colosseum. Now, the Colosseum was surprisingly easier than I was suspecting. The main reason it was easier because Deor had a moveset specifically made to take down any big heavy hitters or just any type of Creo in general with a lot of health. So that's why it was surprisingly easy. And because I planned ahead just in case anything happened, and I had a ton of potions and botas and just in case things for just in case situations, I managed to win. So, can you beat Evocreo with Deor only? Heck no. You guys saw the video, no way in the heck you can beat Evocreo with Deor only. But it was still an enjoyable challenge. Now, before we quickly end this, I quickly want to tell you guys that I have a Twitter. You guys can find me there, and I'll be uploading daily, so you guys can pretty much know when another video is coming out or things that I'm just doing in general, you know, so you guys can pretty much tell that I'm alive. And also, I just want to interact with more of my subscribers. You know, it feels more enjoyable that way if I interact with you guys more. But yeah, you can find me in Twitter. I'll link it in the description. But with all of that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe and have a nice day.